have a demo from Pro Ultrasonic, and we're very excited to have you guys on board. So thank you very much, and on to you.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Man? I don't know about this live stuff. What about you?
Well, I'm kind of gotten used to it over about the last 20 years of being around it. So I've kind of grown into it, but I'm sure that it can be a little bit different if you've never done it before. But I'm sure we're going to have some fun here. And the best thing about it, I've heard about the type of cleaning deal that you have, but I've never had the privilege of going and having an education about how good it is. All I can remember is old parts washers or a bucket that I used to have at Junior's and a scrub brush, have that at Boy in the Airline, and when you get done, take it out back and wash it with some hot water or something. So I'm going to get a different education here. So I'm going to let you take it away and tell us a little bit about your company and what we're going to get educated on here today. How about that?
That sounds great. So my name is Danny Kentch. I'm with Pro Ultrasonics, and it's kind of weird. This is the first year in 25 years I'm not getting ready for Indy and not participating in PRI. So it's a little bit different for us. The wonderful thing about PRI for us was to get in front of people and show them actually hands-on with parts like we're going to do today, exactly how ultrasonics works to help them save time and also give them a cleaner part at the end. And the one thing about PRI that I'm really going to miss is interacting with our clients that we've had over the last 25 years, our friends, all kinds of people from a one-man shop, let's say like Head Solutions out of Indiana, to guys like Stuart Haas, a NASCAR team. So everybody in between, and it was so nice to reconnect and so forth with them. But it's a pleasure. Thank you, EPARTRADE, for putting this together for us. We've got some parts here that we're going to go ahead and clean. And once they're cleaning, we'll go ahead and talk some more about the science of what's happening inside. And then we'll pull the parts out. We'll take a look at them. We'll talk a little bit about it, a little bit more about it. Make sure any questions you have that you type them in. There's going to be questions on, I'm sure. So just fire them out there. And then at the end of our presentation today, we're giving away a nice little ultrasonic that you can give to your wife for Christmas. So we'll do a drawing for that at the end. So just remind me to do that.
Am I eligible? Because I want you and I are right now up in Indianapolis, and we're going to pretend we're in Indianapolis, and that's what I need. I need an education that I need to have this part in my shop, or even in my shop here at the farm, working on my John Deere tractors. So educate me.
Okay. Let's start. This is one of our medium-sized machines. We made it for engine builders 20 years ago. It's 36 inches by 24, 14 inches deep. It's just perfect for a set of heads, all your small parts. Even pick a block in here and set it down and rotate it. The beauty of ultrasound is we don't have to use hazardous chemicals or hazardous materials. So it's safe for me as an operator, as a technician. It's safe for the environment. What we've got here is hot water. We heat it up to about 160 degrees. And we add 5 gallons of a special soap. The soap has a rust inhibitor built in. So if we're doing cast or connecting rods, whatever that might be, we don't need to worry about them coming out so clean that they would flash rust. So there's a protectant on there when we pull those parts out. The beauty too of a high temperature like that is when they come out, they dry very quickly. And I'm ready to go right to the bench and rebuild. So let's take a look at what we have today. I've got a couple pistons we're going to be cleaning today. We've got an identical set. So what you see here, we'll put them in for 5 minutes. We'll take them out and show you the originals. We're also going to do a nice head. And we'll take a look at this. I've got the matching set over there, but I'm going to stick this up to where we do about 2/3 of it, just so we see a nice line of what we've done and what we haven't done.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and turn this on. It's going to be, we're in the back part of our warehouse, so it's a little echoey here, which is a good example of sound waves. The bigger tank we have, the more resonance we get, the more echoing we get, and the more power we get. So in our bigger tanks, we can really generate a lot of power. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Everything we has a timer. You know, I heard somebody say the other day, I'm looking for someone to help me in my shop. And for those that are online, I'd like to change that around just a little bit. Instead of looking for someone, I want you to look for something to help you in the shop. And that would be Pro Ultrasonics. This is like a part-time employee that's going to save you 2 or 3 hours a day and let you do more productive things, and let the machine do the job that nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to clean parts. So let's go ahead and turn this on. I'm going to go ahead and we'll load up our smaller parts in our basket here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this head in. Can you go ahead and switch that over to our handheld? I got a little head hidden here. We're just going to throw that in there just for the heck of it. And show the top of that and that head right there. If you look close, you can actually see some of the action taking place.
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to go ahead and set that down now. We're going to walk over here for just a minute, get away from that sound. There you go.
Now, Dan, I'm going to have to stop you right here real quick because, you know, you got me intrigued. Have you got your own production company going on here? Because that's really cool being able to follow in there and look down inside the vat itself and see what's going on. So have you got an assistant today?
Oh, I've got Rachel with me today. She's been doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes.
Well, tell her we appreciate that because, again, it gives us better insight exactly what's going on, how you're able to do this. I don't see any special gloves or anything, you know, at this time. So It's pretty impressive just to kind of like at the start of the process.
Right. And what's nice right now is I can go do something else, which I am going to do. I'm going to walk away from this process. I'm going to go deal with a client. I'm going to go work on the bench. I'm going to go do whatever I need to do, which again is adding like a part-time employee to my business here.
Yeah.
So let's take a look over here. We'll just walk over here for a sec. We'll talk a little bit more about ultrasonics. We have smaller machines. We have machines that even for home or for, let's say I specialize in carburation. Beautiful for carburetors, for fuel injection. A lot of our teams put these on the trailers, so they have something on site at the track in case they need a quick clean.
Right.
So we handle everything from small little tabletops all the way up to great big production equipment. And when we turn around, I'll show you some of our manufacturing. But how ultrasound works is we produce thousands of microscopic bubbles. And those bubbles are racing around in the water. When they hit a part, they hit it with a lot of energy, but they don't explode, which would hurt the part. It would hurt the surface. They actually collapse, which creates a huge vacuum and a lot of energy at a real specific point. So we can put in a nice polished head or, whatever part we have, and we know it's going to come out with the same specifications that we started because we don't hurt that surface. And again, it's the non-hazardous nature of it too. The only hazard we have here is hot water. So when I pull that if I was reaching in there to grab a head or whatever, I'd put on a pair of gloves, pull it out, let it drip off. And again, at the end of our cleaning here, we'll go ahead and show you firsthand the power of ultrasound, because we're going to go right through a bowl and we'll clean a little carburetor inside. Let's see, I think we have a couple questions here. Is it possible to leave a part in the machine too long? Is there a potential for damage? Is the real question. I do have a small one and love it. Thanks, Jeffrey, appreciate that. It's possible to hurt it cosmetically. Let's say we have a nice machine surface that's nice and polished. If we leave that in too long, we're going to actually pull the polish out of the metal itself, but we won't hurt the structure at all. That's why we always have a timer on all of our machines. You know, we don't want them to be abused. But structurally, it's never going to hurt that part. It's safe on all metals. It's safe on plastics. It won't hurt rubber or gaskets or O-rings, which is a beauty. If I put a carburetor in here, we know all the things that are on a carburetor. It's safe on all those materials. So it's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look at what we got here. Let's see what progress we've made.
Hey, and while we're doing the progress deal, Dan, can you go ahead and maybe a little bit more of a question here? Do you have a recommended sheet that says this part needs 5 minutes, this part needs an hour? You know, do you have anything that gives guys at least a starting point?
We do. Okay. I mean, we've been doing this for so long, and we have so many good clients out there that feed back to us. Yeah, we know. You know, a carburetor takes about 7 minutes.
Okay.
A head can be anywhere from 10 to 25 minutes, depending on how it looks. Right. Now, we've run this for 5 minutes now. But again, if let's say I'm going to lunch and I leave this stuff in here and come back in a half hour, it's not going to hurt anything because it's just sitting in a nice soapy water. Right. The ultrasound is turned off. And speaking of the water and the way this works, everything's automatic on this as well. As far as the heat, we set that up to your work schedule. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go ahead and switch over to her handheld now. And I want you to watch the surface here, because our soap will bring all the greases and oils to the top. Once we've cleaned, we don't want to redeposit all that back on when I pull things back out. So let's go ahead and turn on our filtration system. You can see we're skimming the top layer of the surface here. It actually goes back into an overflow tank where all the oil accumulates, and we float a nice absorbent sock back there to suck up all the oil. So now when I pull the parts back out, I'm coming up through clean water. I'm going to set that there for just a minute. While I'm doing that, I'm also taking all the particles out of the water. Let's take a look at what we have here in 5 minutes. So here's our first one.
Wow.
You can see, again, it's about a 7-minute clean cycle. Getting rid of that nasty carbon. What I like to do is you look at the ring lances here. As you scroll that around, you don't see any debris underneath, even with the rings on. That's kind of hot, so it's going to dry quick, but now I'm ready to go. I don't need to rinse this. I'm back to rebuilding. This one about the same thing. Again, probably another 2 or 3 minutes, we'll have what we need. Identical pistons, you could see. We've taken all the varnish. Again, pristine clean again without hurting the surface. And this was just an old little head we had laying around, so you can see. Yeah,
but that's what caught my attention immediately when you started to come up with it. I mean, it looked like somebody's been really scrubbing on that son of a gun. And
yeah.
Very impressive.
So now let's take a look at this head. I'm just going to set these down for a minute. Let's take a look at what we've got. Kind of a nice before and after. Uh-huh. Look at the carbon. Again, we don't, we're trying to save you time. We're trying to save the material. We don't want to have to bead blast everything. Of course, now with the sophisticated engines we have, we really can't bead blast a lot anyway. But look at these interior surfaces here. Some of these machined areas that we've got into without any labor. You can see before and after here. You can see after 5 minutes, we probably have another 5 minutes to get everything out of here. But you see how it's just laying in here?
Yes, sir.
I could just take a little brush right now, run it through, stick it back in for another minute or two, and I'm a done deal. Now I'm ready to go back to the work area, but now I'm working with new material.
Right.
It's like, you know, I always wanted to be a builder, but when I was young, I didn't like to get my hands dirty. So that kind of messed me up for that career.
We're getting a lot of questions here, so I want to get kind of questioning you about this before we run out of time here.
Okay.
Is there any point in the solution becomes diluted and contaminated to the point where maybe it would etch the aluminum part? And that's coming from Mike Perry. But from what I take from what you're saying, no, that's not going to be the case.
Well, soap is important just to help us separate everything once we take it off, keep it from redepositing. We start with plenty of concentration here. We only need 5 gallons of soap and regular water. And as long as we keep it filtered good, the worst thing for ultrasound is all those particles floating around. Because you imagine, you know, we got a little part in there and there's particles surrounding this whole thing here. The energy is going to be lost on the particles before it gets in here to do its job. So we need to keep the water clean. We have dual filtration on this, like we talked about before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is important. And we are going to have to change this every once in a while. That could be anywhere from, I've got some guys who change it every 4 to 6 weeks, and some change it 2 or 3 times a year, depending on their use. Any application for high, okay.
You said something about bigger machines, because we got Derek Dixon wanting to know about, can it handle a bus engine? You have a machine that can handle a bus engine?
We do. This is 36 by 24. We go up from here 3 different sizes, and then we add lift tables, agitating lift tables, to make it a lot easier to load things in and out. So we have this available with a lift table. We go up to double this size at 42 by 30, and then we go up to 60 by 30. So we handle just about any head, blocks, things that are out there. And then those we add lift tables because, again, we're dealing with a big area. So
I think it kind of addresses what Sean Green was wanting to know about. He said, do you have any kind of applications on high volume production scenarios, like, I guess, final washes on block production, for example?
We do. We're going to turn this just a little bit and show you one of our systems here. When I go to the PRI, it's nice because I've got 20 or 30 manufacturers on the floor that use our equipment for high production. Places like Manley Performance and Swift Filter, and all your piston manufacturers use Pro Ultrasonics. So the new stuff you're getting out of a box has already been through ultrasound. Now you're going to take that same technology once you're rebuilding it to get it clean back to that original state. So we have automated systems that we do a lot, places like SpaceX and Boeing. So we're bringing that technology of medical devices and aerospace to the automotive industry. The same technology, the same automation if we need it. Again, we make a lot of custom equipment. We take care of Delta Airlines, take care of all their maintenance. So there's lots that we can do other than our standard line that we've developed over the last 20 years.
Okay, what about somebody was asking, Paul Parkinson was wanting to know, can you put any other kind of solvent in your machine that would make it more efficient?
We do have different soaps. We never use solvents.
Okay.
Everything we do is non-hazardous. It's aqueous based. So we don't want to, we don't deal with any solvents. We don't need to. We don't need that red safety clean in the corner or that bucket of carb cleaner anymore, or all those sprays that we're spraying all over the place, brake clean and so forth. We can do that with soap and water now. But we do have different soaps based on different applications.
Well, it sounds to me right now that you have really hit a home run here. We did have one of our panelists want to know about, do you have any kind of international representation, like in some place like in Mexico? He was interested, I think, that and maybe trying to make contact with you because he has a race team down there and would like to maybe be a representative for your company, I guess.
We're always looking for great distributors. I think we're in all 50 states, and I think we're up to about 18 countries now.
Okay.
as far as our equipment. But yes, please contact me. We do a lot of business down in Mexico, of course, being so close and stuff. So, just send us at info at Pro Ultrasonics, or look at our website, proultrasonics.com, and then we can go from there. Any other?
Hey, we're going to have to cut this a little bit short, my friend. We're
Darn
really
it, I'm just getting warmed up.
Huh?
I'm just getting.
We'll have you back. I want to say a great Rachel. He's the one who worked with our production team here. Wanted to put that together. Rachel, you did a hell of a job.
I think Rachel should come over here.
I agree.
Yeah, here's Rachel.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I love the presentation. I really did. If I was there, I would buy.
Oh yes.
All right.
We'll do it again. We'll have you back on the. We're going to extend this into a month, actually.
Yes. We do want to give away this little machine, though. So, so go ahead and raise your hand online. There's a little button you can click to raise your hand, right? And Rachel will pick one out. But anyway, this is a nice little unit for at home. I don't want you putting your lawnmower carburetors and stuff in here, though. This is for your wife, for her jewelry.
So, Rachel, you've got 30 hands right now.
I don't see the list.
You have
I tell you what. You go ahead and pick one randomly.
I can't. Yeah, give me a letter you want to start with for a first name.
A G.
G. For first name or for last name? Sorry.
For first name starts with a G. Last name starts with a S. How's that?
You're going to be. That's going to. Okay. So we're going to make it quick. So we're going to get Sean Greenaway. So Sean, you. Well, I got it the other way, S and G, but that's
okay. Send us an email. And we'll get this out to you for Christmas.
So Sean, I am going to have. So stay on. I'm going to have. Oh, yes, awesome. Thank you, guys. Sean,
okay.
Done. I see a lot more hands raising up right now.
I do want to let you know just real quick before we sign off, because we're saving money from not doing PRI, we're extending that to our customers. We have an incredible package package put together. Just give us a shout at our website and you can check that out. But, you know, to get a part-time employee, it's going to be less than $250 a month. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, thank you. You just put me out of a job. If I was still a junior doing that, I wouldn't have a job right now. Thank you.
I know. I hate doing that.
No, I think that's great to know that there's something out there that can help the guy that's got, you know, just himself and one other person working in the engine room.
Yep.
You know, it's really a shade tree mechanic type, and have this kind of quality be able to help him do a better job faster and turn more product. You know, and I mean, being clean is very important. You know that in any engine room or different types of applications, sometimes you spend so much effort trying to do that, and time is money. That's the thing. You just showed them how to save time and make more money.
Exactly. And all non-hazardous, which I love.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you, guys. We've got.
Thank you.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. Fill out your name, email, phone number, and create a secure password. Next, select your business type. Choose supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose racing business if you're looking to find new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose race team if you own or are a member of a professional racing team. Begin typing your company name. We most likely already have your company in our database, which you can select from the drop-down. Then, enter your job title. Choose Claim Company if you'll be editing your company profile. Other members of your company can choose Join Company if they'd like to use EPARTtrade as well. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Click Register Now, and your registration will be submitted for approval. You'll need to confirm your email once it goes through. To keep our platform industry only, you'll be approved shortly after. If we require additional proof of business, we'll reach out. Welcome to EPARTRADE.